Today is the last day of the training week, and I'm going to be doing snatches, cleans, and like clean high pulls. Actually, I'm probably not going to do like full snatches. I'm probably not going to go overhead. That catch position overhead really sucks right now for my shoulders, so probably not going to do that. We're probably going to do like snatch, like high pulls um, from the floor. That'll be okay. Um, you guys probably noticed, or if you didn't notice, whatever. I didn't post a like a throws video this week. So the original plan was when I was going to do these videos was going to be um, 3 lifting videos a week in the gym, and then one like combined throwing video with a voiceover, like I had been doing. But I went out and practiced like 3 different days. Probably took 25 throws total, I think, for the entire week, and they were all really bad, really, really bad. Like most of them weren't even complete throws. I couldn't dial it in. I couldn't figure it out. So we kind of scrapped the week and took it as a big rest, and we're moving on to the next week. So that video should be out next week. Full throws, things like that. But we're starting out cleans. I got 160, 160 on the bar. We're going for sets of 2 today for pretty much everything except for the heavier clean high pulls at the end. Those I'll probably do for like 3 sets of 3, something like that. That's probably it. So it's not a whole lot, but it's enough. To be honest, it's more than I really want to be doing, but here we are. You got to pay the man, so they say. Ugh, it's noisy. All right, next set. This is 185, and again going for 2. It's not like super heavy, but yeah, again, I've talked about this in the past about like my clean maxes. Like some days, like my technique is a lot better than it is other days, and when the technique is good, everything feels really light, and I'm like, man, I should really raise that max up a little bit. So then I do, and then my technique kind of drops off because I'm only doing these like once a week. That's not that much to like keep a rhythm going, you know. But so yeah, cleans are really tough because it's all on me and my sloppy technique, whether they're going to be difficult or not. So let's see about these. See how these are gonna be. Okay, this is my third set. It'll take a minute before I do it, but yeah. So snatch and clean day is not my favorite day. It is like actually my least favorite day of the week. I used to like it when I was doing like safety squat bar squats on this day. Kind of something to look forward to because if my cleans and snatches are really crappy, I can make up for it by having like a good squat session. And during those weeks, I was squatting to like a bench, so like it's like a high squat. I can load it really heavy and I feel powerful. And some of those days, I'm really popping off the box, even with like heavy weight, and like that made me feel good, like a little real ego boost. But I kind of cut back on those squats just because like in season at this point in the season, I don't need to be pushing stuff too hard, especially like looking at like how the training's been this week. Is it just fatigue, or was it just a fluke? What is it? I don't know. I think it's fatigue. You got to dial it back, dial the lifting back, keep the throwing moderately high. Um, the next games I got, it's probably going to be Maine. I'm probably going to travel up to Maine for the Maine games. Maine. Say that a bunch. Should be a good time. It's they're doing like the Open Series, kind of very similar to how they do it in Scotland. Um, so I figure I'll travel out there for that, and then have a week off where I will be at the Omaha games. There's going to be games in Omaha, Nebraska. If you guys aren't familiar, and you're in the area, check it out. Go throw there. First year back that they're having games in Nebraska. It's been a while. And then the weekend after that is all in August, very busy August. I'm going to be in Altamont, New York for the Capital District Scottish Games. So keep a lookout for that. If you're in the Northeast, I guess it's New. Is that New England? Is New York part of New England? You guys tell me in the comments. Is New York part of New England? I hear mixed reviews on that. But I'll be there. So those are my next two that I'm going to be throwing at. Is going to be Maine and Altamont, New York. So I have some time. I have over a month to kind of get back into fighting shape. I didn't really mean to, but I think I did kind of peak for No Fame. How my program was pretty on point, my throwing was on point, and I kind of dialed it back at the right time to have a real good showing at No Fame, and I think I did. And so now we're kind of riding that slump. This might even be just my mid-season slump. I don't know. Only time will tell. All right, last set. This is 210. And I'm not going to pull the first one from the floor. I'm going to do them both from the hang because I like that way more. Now we're doing like snatch high pulls. This should be pretty light. And if it's like too light, instead of going for 2, we'll go for 3. But we're gonna play it by ear, see how it feels. I haven't done these in a minute, so we'll see how well I do them. But there's a lot of guys out there who talk about like high pulls versus like full like Olympic lifts. Like, what do you, as a thrower, what do you need to do? I think pretty much everyone these days is agreeing just the high pull is good enough. Yeah, you let me know. What do you guys like to do? Do you guys do any Olympic lifts? If you don't, I think you should. If you're a thrower, any kind of thrower, if you throw Olympic hammer or freaking Highland Games or whatever, I think it's a must. But I don't think you need to do the full Olympic lifts. I think it's unnecessary. There's a high skill that you have to develop there to do it correctly. But the high pulls, man, you can really just muscle those things up and get a lot of good benefit out of it. You feel good contact through your hips, like that's that explosion through the wob, that's that explosion through the hammer. It's all very beneficial. These feel easy. The first one is 135. This one's going to be like 155. So we're not making big jumps. I'm kind of glad for that. Get back over there. All right, this will be the last set of the snatch high pulls. This is going to be 175. Before I do that, let's talk a little bit more about like plyometrics. I mentioned plyometrics and how like they're super beneficial. If you guys aren't aware of what plyometrics are, it's like just like box jumps, body weight movements, sprints, and various like things like that. Look it up. Look at plyometrics. There's a lot of good information out there as far as like for throwers and like using plyometrics and how to use them effectively. What movements and what exercises to do at what times in your training cycle. It can get pretty in the weeds if you start digging into like Verkhoshansky and some of his methodology. It's super brilliant, but it's a lot. If you ever tried to read like Super Training by like Mel Siff, like that's a lot. That's a lot to go through. And reading Verkhoshansky's plyometric trainings are also like it's a lot to try to understand and wrap your head around. I'd also tell you guys to look at, if you haven't, look at Werner Gunther, Olympic shot putter back in like the 70s and 80s. He has these just awesome like training montages. A couple of them like were done up in like a video format that kind of explain the methodology and like what he's doing, like in peaking for like meets and stuff like that. And I think they've been translated from. I think the original video was like in French. I've seen one that was in French for sure, but I've also seen them in English as well. But look at those; they're on YouTube. Werner Gunther, plyometrics. Dude is such an explosive athlete, and if you do a lot of what he does, so kind of model your training off of that, you're gonna be a-okay when it comes to throwing. Those videos will not lead you astray. But there is more lessons to be learned than just watching those YouTube videos. They are very entertaining though, because they got that old like 70s filmed on like actual film kind of vibes. It's very cool. All right, last set. Well, that's not bad. Not bad at all. All right. So now that the snatch high pulls are done, we're gonna do clean high pulls. I'm gonna do these from the hang position. This is 275. A couple weeks ago, I've been doing these at like 315. I think that might have been a little bit heavy. So we're gonna lighten it up a little bit, try to get some more pulls out of it. But those days I was doing it from like blocks, which was actually pretty nice. We're gonna try these from the hang, see how they feel. Those felt awful. Okay, that last one was awful. So again, we're doing speed and power here in the middle of the strength block. So those like high pulls, if they're not moving fast, if they're not going high enough, we're gonna lighten the load and we're gonna do it right. We're trying to move quickly and explosively, but like kind of what those felt like were like just getting to the hips and kind of just like just kind of jerking it up. I wasn't being as dynamic as I want to be. So we just dropped down to 225, and I'll do this for 2 more sets. So that's it. All right, well that felt better. That felt a lot better. I'm gonna do that for 1 more set. Probably not gonna film it. I'll just stop here. But that's kind of all I have for today. Appreciate you guys watching and continuing to watch. Again, if you like this style of video, comment down below. I need some reassurance that this is the direction you guys want me to go in the content. So let me know what you think of this. And as always, throw far, God bless.